particular pupils or these particular school-going children are supposed to go to school by at least 8 a.m. So no one is supposed to report before 8 a.m. I don't know whether the schools will actually comply with this particular matter, but this is according to what the New Vision has said, that there are tough rules on nursery schools now. Now, President Museveni has met Tanzanian coffee investor, and of course, discussions here made by the chairperson of Amir Hamza Tanzania Limited, that is Amir Hamza Ismail, after meeting President Museveni at State House in Entebbe yesterday. Furthermore, NSSF gives employers 30-day ultimatum over remittances. This is another detail coming in from here. Now, also on the other issue, Mwalimu, in the Mwalimu magazine, how decision on uniforms could affect schools. There is something in here. And then also, as a matter of fact, this is Mohozi has assured actually leaders on Karamoja cattle rustlers. Big issue in here with cattle rustling that eats up, that has continuously eaten up northeastern Uganda. Then also in the New Vision still, the East African Crude Oil Pipeline project commits to pipeline construction. Another detail, as President Museveni is set to meet Kampala leaders of the Parish Development Model and the Emyuga funds. Those are more details that are coming in, as well as members of parliament want bureaucracies involved in accessing pension removed. They want easy access to the pension benefits. This is what is coming in from the New Vision. And then lastly, from the press review this morning, Daily Monitor, NSSF law starts biting employers as all formal businesses and organizations have 30 days to register and start contribution to the National Social Security Fund, irrespective of the number of employees, or face penalties of 10% on the areas. More details coming up here. As iron sheets, protesters, police face off amid downpour yesterday in Kampala over the iron sheet saga. Some of those who are not happy with how government is running or how members of the cabinet are running these matters. Then also, besides that, Supreme Court hears only 4 cases in the last quarter. What may have been the problem? Daily Monitor has more details. Now, the African Union has expressed concern over the violence in Kenya as the Azimio protests hit week number 2 at the start of this week on Monday. More details with the Daily Monitor. Then lastly is that land has hindered installation of COVID machine, according to Dr. Monica Mosenero, who is the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation. Big reports coming in with the Daily Monitor and the New Vision this morning. All right, on a Wednesday like this one, you may definitely want to know how is the traffic flow within Kampala. How best can you maneuver through? Which route is safer and easier or convenient for you to kickstart off your business day? This time now we head to our traffic update to see what is really happening in downtown Kampala, and of course to see what is happening to what is coming in from the different CBD routes, different routes that lead to the central business district in the capital. Of course, remember at the time around 6:30, that is normally around 6 a.m. because office time in Kampala is in Uganda is 8 a.m. So from 8 a.m. to 5. That is normally the office time within the settings here. It is only in Rwanda where it actually turned from 9 a.m. to 5, right? Last year. Now here in Uganda it's still 8 to 9, but of course it depends on the kind of job you're doing, but most especially if you're doing what you call the white collar jobs. Unless when you're working in shift, that is when the shifts turn out and everything. That is, but from the biggest point of view, 7:30 does look like the time of arrival. From 7 to 8 is the time of arrival for most of the people. Now let's get on ground this morning to see how the traffic flow is at the moment, and of course to see if you are still at home or if you are kickstarting your business day, which route does look convenient for you. Andrew Barije is at the former clock tower currently, that is the Kampala flyover, as you're stretching to the Benchiwanka Street, to give us more details this morning regarding the traffic flow. Andrew.
Thank you very much, Joram. And of course, today we are just right here at the Clock Tower junction, definitely observing the traffic atmosphere in here. It's quite a very busy junction. And it's always quite a very busy junction because it holds some of those key routes. And of course, from one of the very so many densely populated areas, whereby definitely there are business areas and at the same time there are residential areas. So that explains why we are able to see the situation just like the way we are seeing it. Well, starting all the way from the very back, if we are to look where I'm standing, all the way, that's the vehicles that are heading, that is towards Kampala, coming from Entebbe. You get to realize it's quite a little bit free, as compared as according to our first observation on the routes that we are observing, the people that are coming in from Entebbe, areas like Shibuya coming in the way here. That explains what we are seeing in here, and it's quite a free lane in that perspective. Definitely seeing different junctions connecting in all the way here, and the traffic officers making sure that they put everything under control despite the heavy congestion. There has to be some level of discipline in here, and maybe some other notice around this very junction. We get to realize that it's one of the junctions that have quite so many pedestrians that are walking into the different areas. Of course, they're coming to work, majority of them coming all the way from there. Now, taking a look, those coming in the way from Entebbe coming in here, and they also in a way contribute to why the street, the junction is quite a little bit very much more congested. Definitely taking a look, vehicles heading towards that side of Entebbe. Some are coming in from the Nsambia route, connecting in there, and it seems to be quite a free lane for the people that are coming from Kampala or coming from Zambia, coming from Chibuli, and they're heading towards Entebbe. Of course, if they are planning to use this very junction, it's going to be quite a very favorable lane for them in all the way. Now, taking a look in there, if we are to observe the junction, of course, the route that is heading towards, coming in from Zambia, the personnel's coming in from there, coming in from Chibuli and Zambia, Kabalagala, Kansanga, and they are coming towards town. Yes, it's quite, it's not congested actually, despite the fact that the vehicles have been held. You get to realize that it's not a very long lane. So residents of Chibuli, of course, in Zambia, you're coming into town and you're going to pass via this route. Of course, I know there are quite so many routes that you can use to make sure that you reach in time. You get to realize that it's going to be quite a little bit fair for you to reach in time and execute the different businesses efficiently as how you ought to execute. Yes, of course, held just in quite a few intervals, about 3 to 5 minutes, but it's not a huge line of vehicles as compared to other situations where you can take a look and it's quite a thick fleet of the vehicles in there. So you're coming in from Kabalagala, Kansanga, and Zambia, and you're planning to pass via this junction. You're heading straight to town. Well, it's not going to be hard for you. You will be able, apart from ahead, where you find another congestion. But literally, once you reach there, you're already in town, actually. If you're coming by public means, you can get off wherever, even where the taxis have parked in there, and you take a walk to town and go and execute the different businesses in that way. So it will be quite favorable. Now, let's take a look at, of course, the people coming in from those destinations. Still taking a look at heading towards town. If we are to take a look at Entebbe Road, of course, all the way coming in from here, it's quite very free. Unlike ahead, of course, towards Shell petrol station, where former ShopRite was, actually, if you remember, former ShopRite opposite Shell. Yes, so it's quite a thick line in there, and definitely people coming in from Kampala, and you're going to pass via Entebbe Road, and probably you're connecting in there, you might be a little bit held up. The only people that are heading to Entebbe, and they will be okay, are those coming in from Zambia, Kabalagala, and Chibuli, heading towards there. But if you're coming, if you're planning to use the Entebbe route, I'm assuming you're probably coming in from Wandegea, definitely, and probably you plan to pass via there to use the Entebbe road to connect in here. It seems to be quite very hectic for you to connect there is quite a huge fleet of vehicles in there, accompanied with a heavy pedestrians, with quite so many pedestrians, heavily congested in there. All right, now taking a look at the people, of course, connecting all the way from Musafi Taxi Park, that route heading there, and in most cases, people coming in from Entebbe and they're coming into Kampala. Well, it's quite a little bit of a congested lane for them. Of course, held in quite a few intervals by the traffic officers to ensure that there is quite efficient flow of the vehicles. Well, that is the situation around here at the Clock Tower Junction. Definitely some routes are a little bit okay, and some other routes seem to be quite a little tight for the people that are coming towards this junction and heading to the different destinations. Well, at this very time, back to studio with Joram.
Many thanks, Andrew Berige, for that particular update. And of course, that is the former Clock Tower junction around there. That is, of course, where the Kampala flyover will be situated, or is already situated at the moment. For those coming in from Entebbe Road, there are those who are actually leaving town, heading to either Nsambya, Chibuye, Katwe, all those areas. That is of course, that area is where most of the different vehicles that are actually hitting town pass from. Apart from those who are actually coming in from Wandegea, or those who actually come from, let's say, Jinja Road. But the rest of the other people definitely use that same space and that same conjunction. That is why it is that same junction. That is why it is more busy every other day, whether it's a public holiday or not. So for you to hit that particular traffic jam, you really need to be up quite earlier. As we're heading into the break, remember to invest in government bonds and securities, and Zabu is the platform which gives you that advantage. Star 292 hash is the USSD code, and you can kickstart off your investment journey today with the platform. Zabu, my money, my future. All takes East Africa, do something new. Remember, with the platform, all you need to do is register with your national identification number, kickstart off your investment, buy, sell, and of course, grow your investments with Zabu. Markets open at 8:15 a.m., close at 3:15 p.m. Only fully closed during the weekends and on public holidays. Zabu, my money, my future. All takes East Africa, do something new. After the break, when I do return though, we shall be looking at the latest from Karibu East Africa. Business outlets coming in from there, including the Kenya Airways that has posted a loss for the last financial year. Another loss for the Kenyan Airways in there. And of course, not only that, Smart 20.